Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another Three Geeks conversation. Today we are joined by Shannon Farnon. Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course, Wonder Woman was such a staple of mine and I'm sure many other people's childhoods.
Several generations now. I have people
Several.
coming up that bring their children because they themselves were big fans. So,
I love
yeah.
that. What inspired you to pursue acting?
Well, I grew up in a family of entertainers. So it's sort of like growing up in a family of doctors. You just sort of flow right into the groove. And so that's what happened to me. I mean, my mom was a singing comedian for a couple years. She did films in Hollywood when she was pre-marriage. And then my dad was an orchestra leader his whole life. Really, the only musician I've ever heard of that never was without a job.
Speaking of Wonder Woman, how did you get into the Super Friends and that whole deal? How did that interview happen? How did you get into the show?
Do we want to call that a lucky thing? I do. I had no intention, never even crossed my mind to do animation voices, but I was involved in doing voice for commercials and narration, things like that. But I worked on camera with the director and did a Hanna-Barbera Flintstone vitamin commercial. And lo and behold, I got a call from my agent one day. They would like to see you to audition for the voice of Wonder Woman. Well, I said, sure. I said, sure they do. Where did this come from? Left field, you know? And so they convinced me, yes, that was the plan. So I said, okay, I'll be there. And we worked together I was in the booth, of course, to figure out where we wanted to go because I am the original one. So we had a lot of leeway and developed what we thought would be appropriate for her. And at one point, the director said, well, now take off your shirtwaist dress and put on your boots. So that was a big clue to what they still needed, and we got it. They sent it to the network, and the rest is history.
Were you familiar with Wonder Woman prior?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I grew up at the same time she did. She was the first animated cartoon came out the year I was born. What's that tell you?
So you did. You got. So how did that feel then to be able to be that character that you grew up, also watching?
Well, there was no watching her then, but I certainly read the comics. And that was the girl's hero, basically. And I knew that was a lot of responsibility. And of course, it was a wonderful character to own, we'll say, and develop because standing for everything that was good and true and beautiful without the fighting and the killing and the bang, bang, bang that they usually give to the male superheroes.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool.
Do you have a favorite memorable moment from those recordings?
Oh my, I did them for 10 years. You could not even try to pick one. I worked with wonderful people, talented people, masters of multiple voices. Um, the nice part was developing that whole arena that I had never participated in. And when we sat around the table, which we always did first to do a read through, other parts would come up. We would either raise our hands or the director would say, do this one too, because when they pay you for your main voice, they also get 2 freebies. And that was broadening for for an actor to be able to do that and pull it off and get away with it. So
Yeah.
the whole experience became a memorable one for me. Just broadened my whole world. Yeah. I never had any idea, nor did anyone in the cast, that it would be a lifelong thing with a big fan club. Nobody knows that ahead of time. So,
And in those days, were you guys all in the same room, kind of going through lines and things like that?
whenever possible, we had a big studio at Hanna-Barbera, which, by the way, is no longer even a building. But big studio for the performers to record. We could have as many, probably more, as 12 microphones standing in a row. And it was always preferable, not just for the actor to have another actor to play off of, even though you weren't physically moving together, than it was, and they were very generous there. If I got another gig in another area of my work, no problem, and they just brought me in separately, or whoever was missing separately, and into a smaller booth, and that's where we caught up. We'll say we caught up with the cast.
How has the fan acceptance been like for you? I know, like, we've talked to a lot of people who did the early animations, and they tell us that they didn't get those fan mail that, like, the studios would get. So it was different back then compared to now with social media and things, kind of getting that instant gratification. Like, did y'all know that when you were recording the fans, or is that something like more recent that you've been able to learn?
Well, that just developed over time. I mean, when you're in the field where those social media things will help you, you jump on board and try to establish, which I did. I have a personal account and a professional account, which is different. I mean, they're both accounts, but I don't use them for the same thing. And that helps me a lot keep straight the whole business. I'm not a big social media fan. Just am not. I think it's a real time sucker. But some people just love it, and I accept that. Some people should learn to get a life, and I accept that.
Yeah, they should.
But through time, I mean, that's how I've connected with a lot of fans. There's no doubt about it, and it's been very gratifying because the performers who were in a generation before me in the world of animation, that was not available to them at the time. And of course, the world of animated voices was smaller as well. I mean, so much of the work would go to one individual. That one individual better be talented, and they were. But the whole business has broadened since they would have started, like the Bugs Bunny and the early Disney thing. That was pretty much a lockdown market. And the voice business is small compared to on camera, such as life.
You've also had a pretty impressive on camera career as well. Do you feel there's something, other than just Wonder Woman, that you would like people to know you from more?
Well, all they have to do is Google Shannon Farnon, and they can get more information than they were even interested in. But it's just my list of my career, like anybody else's career has a list of the things they've done. The only problem with the career I've chosen is that you really don't develop, in some cases anyway, you don't have time enough together unless you're on a regular show for years at a time to develop the kind of relationships you would if you were in a school as a teacher or a bank with other bankers. So that would be what we could call it a big difference. I mean, I'm proud of my work. I mean, my career is going the other direction at this point. It's looking back, but I have a nice fat resume that I have, and the business itself moves you out in time. And of course, I'm one of the senior people in the world today. So I accept all that. That's part of the process. The new blood's coming in, the older blood is either going out or dying, God forbid. But I am the last living superhero that was in that show.
Well, speaking of your fat resume, I had the privilege of talking to Ted Lang from the Love Boat. Can you tell me a little bit about your time on the Love Boat?
Well, I just did the Love Boat, and we danced together and chatted together. But I was only on one episode, and that's of course
Yeah.
a fun show. It's a fun
Yeah.
concept, and the people were very happy. But getting to know anyone closely, not really.
Sure. Is that similar for the Man from Uncle? Because they made a movie about it about 10 years ago.
Well, I did a lot of work at MGM for starters. Universal and MGM, I think, were probably the biggest or the most work I've done was through those studios. And Man from Uncle led to the other MGM studio series as a guest as well. But again, you're in, you're out, maybe you're there a week to do a show, but they moved them on. MGM was an active studio for me, and I did several pilots that were headed toward becoming a series, but none of them went. So I didn't get. But that was something I would have always liked to have done, was be in a series on a regular basis.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's the way it goes. You just go with the role, you roll with the punches, and you hope you don't get too bruised.
Yeah,
That's a good way to look at it for sure.
definitely. Getting to be one of the earliest females in animation, the female superheroes in animation, what does that mean to you to get to be that inspiration for young women?
That has been powerful. I mean, I had a young girl. I did the Museum of Heroes, or the Heroes Museum in Indiana, which was quite spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a little 12-year-old girl who came up to the table with her father. And the father, of course, was the original Wonder Woman fan, Super Friends fan. And she just was very shy and stayed kind of behind him. And I thought, okay, that was it. And we had a nice chat. Later on, she came up by herself. She came around to the side of the table where I was, and she started to cry. She said, you have been such an influence in my life, and I'm just so grateful. And she went on and on. Well, before you know it, the two of us were crying. I mean, that is a special thing. Now, I didn't write these shows. I hope I gave her voice all the things she should have had. I like to think I did. But just the idea of being a representative for truth and justice, and compassion, and it's pretty special. Yeah,
absolutely,
pretty special.
That do you have many fun fan interactions like that
Well,
are that
lots.
meaningful?
Yeah, when I'm at a comic convention, yes, I try to be very accessible. I mean, we do have a desk in front of us, and but yeah, it is a great opportunity for people to talk to the people they admire or the voices they admire. And it's not just a full convention of voice people. It's other shows and other groups and lots of merchandise and all kinds of stuff.
Do you do a lot in a year? Do you do a lot of different conventions in a year?
No, I don't. I would say, well, I haven't done one now since last year. And that was here in Pasadena, out here in California. I've not done a lot. I've done some back east. I would be happy to do more, but maybe Wonder Woman's out of fashion. I don't know.
I don't think that character will ever be out of fashion, ma'am.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think Wonder Woman is pretty immortal.
Here to stay. Yeah, I've been doing some fun films the last several years about a gay superhero.
Sure.
And it may have been such a kick. What a great idea for someone to come up with. You know, they
Yeah.
got all these superheroes and they don't have a gay superhero. Well, they do now. The movies, I've done 3 for them, and they are all of them start with the power of Surge, and then there's the subtitle for each one. And it's got all the CGI now, and they started out pretty minimally, but now they're really packed full of what they're supposed to have. And I play this, we'll call her the upper world sentinel person. And that character developed too. It was a in the camera, in the car, sort of grandma, but a grandma that had powers you didn't know about, that sort of thing. Well, that has developed, and now I'm full form out there, sort of pushing down buildings and doing whatever they need. So that's been fun. And that was
That sounds like
developed
a class.
by an attorney in San Diego. Yeah, he is the superhero. So
That is
those
so
are
much fun.
Yeah.
What are those called?
Well, it
Surge of
starts with
Power, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
you
Okay.
can Google that.
There's a couple of them, I think. Are you
Yeah.
Mavis? Yeah,
That's how it
that's-
started. I was Mavis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It is awesome. It's totally, again, unexpected out of the blue. But you know, when something becomes fun, and of course, then I've developed good friendships with that cast because every once in a while we'll go back and do another. So that's a lot of fun.
Do you just show up and just say, I want more superpowers? Like, I want to fly now? Like, come on.
No, I leave it up to them. You know, I'm not getting writing credit or the money for it. So, however, on the set, if I think I have a very good idea, they are very willing to listen.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry, Justin.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Do you get to bring kind of parts of yourself into those characters and other characters you've played? And I mean, also the reverse of that, do you get to keep, like, what parts of those characters that you play do you keep and kind of bring into yourself?
Well, I don't think I've brought anything into myself except the admiration for perhaps Wonder Woman, the admiration for the role. But you can't help but bring yourself into any role you play. You just want to be either over the top with yourself sometimes or underplay it. And sometimes, of course, you're using accents and certain personalities or certain personality flaws. But obviously, you're not going to take those in on yourself. All is temporary in this business. It's make believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what makes it fun.
What was it like playing Nancy Reagan? Was that fun?
That was fun. Yeah, because I'm naturally a woman my age knows who Nancy Reagan is. And I felt like I really did a bang up job in regard to playing her because there were expressions and attitudes and certain things about her that were pretty universally known. So although I wasn't trying to copy her, I wanted to be sure that essence was out there. And I think I did. Yeah, I think I did. Of course, I wore a red wig and, within the hairdo and the Nancy look, and looking up her eyes at her wonderful husband. And she had a lot of things that were memorable.
Speaking of the voices, in your resume, it kind of lists some of the ones you're really good at. I always love trying to do the Irish accents, but
Oh, good.
I cannot.
Glory be to God, my girl. You could do an Irish accent. You just have to pretend you're wearing the green.
I love that.
You nailed it.
I do
Yeah,
too.
I agree.
Yes, that's perfect.
I love the Irish accent. I like the
One of my
English,
favorites.
but I like the Irish accent. And of course, my favorite, if I don't, it's not my business, so it's not a plug, but I love BritBox, the streaming service, because it brings all these things in that the BBC produces, and they shoot almost exclusively in Europe, in Ireland, Scotland, England. It's just glorious.
I love that.
Yeah.
My husband's family is Irish, so he does Irish really well. I can't do it the same way.
I bet you haven't been practicing though, have you, darling? You know,
Not.
you do have to
Drink more
try it
Guinness.
out.
Yeah.
Bring it out and try it out once in a while. Have a little cup of tea. Yes,
Have
excellent.
you got to play many roles where you got to use those?
Only the one, and it was a Command Tahitian Lime. Was it a soap or a deodorant for men? And it was such fun. These two big burly men, and I mean big and burly like prize fighter looks, sweetest
Sure.
guys. We flew over to Hawaii, to Maui, and there was a big old wooden ship at the time on Lahaina, but of course it burned down in the poor Maui fires.
Mm.
But we worked on the wharf of that where the ship was, and I was backing them down the wharf, telling them they had to use the Comanche. I mean, it was just such fun. Such fun.
Go ahead,
Do
Justin.
you remember, like, I was trying to think about, like, when your first foray into film, you're like, this is my career forever, like the bug. Do you remember that moment where you're just like, hey, this is my career, this is it, I love it so much?
I grew up playing classical piano, and of course, as I told you, my family and my dad's brothers, big time musicians in the world. So I mean, I also grew up around the industry people. So for me, I don't have that, oh, it's so and so. It's never even occurred to me to feel that way, nor have I ever felt that way. But I knew I wanted to be in the business when I went into high school and joined the theater arts class, and then did that in college as well. And I am proud to say that I did a lot of parts, and most of them were leading lady, which is a blessing and a curse, by the way. And I just knew that's what I wanted to do. But I didn't actually start professionally until 1964. And that's when I said, okay, I'm going to put away these 9-to-5 jobs and just get right down to it. So I borrowed $400 from my mom because I was living on my own, and said, if I can't pay you back, I just need to get pictures taken. If I can't pay you back in 3 months, I'll go back and get some work. Paid her back and never looked back. So it was good to
That's
me.
awesome. Yeah, for sure.
Have you found that having family into the industry helped kind of shape you getting or that desire to be in it?
Well, definitely the desire, I'm sure, because it's my family were entertainers. I had 2 sisters, one who's passed away, and my second sister who died was Liesl in the film The Sound of Music. She happened to have been very interested and wanted to follow the career as an interior designer, in which she was very successful. So she didn't stay with it. And my youngest sister is multi-talented, has this fabulous voice that she could have really focused on that end and just been a fabulous singer in the business. But she did a lot of work, mostly television. Did she do commercials? Oh, she might have. That's terrible, isn't it? I just can't remember, but she did a lot of TV shows, different series where she was Robert Young's daughter one time and Carl Malden's daughter another, and that was great. She started very young, like 13, 14 years old. She was in a series in Canada. So couldn't want me to work, that's who we were. And all the transitions and the flows and the ebbs and the flows. I'm all good with that. No voice.
Oh, you're muted.
There you go.
I thought I was muted and I unmuted myself and ended up muting myself.
We got to fix this voiceover business here.
I know it. I wanted to kind of ask about Valley of the Dinosaurs. You were the voice of Kim in that, and
Yes.
like I had family that grew up watching that, so I've seen it, and I feel like a lot of people my age probably haven't, but they should.
Oh, yeah.
What can you tell us about that?
Another fun one doing. I'm still friends with Alan Oppenheimer. He was in that. And Mike Road, who played my husband, we became fast friends from doing that cartoon, and worked together in the theater in LA and put on shows. And yeah, that was pretty special. Mike Rhodes passed on. Joan, what's it, Caulfield. Anyway, several of them. Alan's about 96 years old. God bless him. So bravo, Alan.
Well, Shannon, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk with you. I guess kind of the last thing is if you could give some advice to the women nowadays, what would be good advice you'd give to young women?
That's very specific. Doesn't Justin want me to give advice to young men?
I would love advice.
This advice really is for anyone going into this business. If you have a passion and would do it for $1.25 an hour, then follow it through and follow your passion. But keep in mind, with every step of the way, this is a business. And anything you think you should be doing in business, such as networking, keeping up your skills, learning new things, that's part of the job. And best of luck to all you little squirts coming up.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Well, what are the socials where people can find you and kind of keep up with what you're doing?
Instagram, of course. The easiest way is to Google me. Google the name. It'll take you to my YouTube channel, which is Shannon Farnon Original Wonder Woman. I mean, you'll find it all through the Google links. There are many links. IMDb, professional or non-professional, you could find anything you want. Too much. Then get off your cameras and your social media and go read a good book.
I love it.
It was lovely.
Thank you so much. It was an absolute pleasure.
You as well.
Pleasure was mine. Okay, kids.
Guys, don't forget to follow, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.
Okay.
Bye.
See you, everybody.
Bye.